is we were talking about setting tanks back here, building a berm and setting 2 tanks, and then go gravity feed and having to come in here and turn around and go back out. And just run off of gravity. But Fred was saying that you had said that we might be better off to double tank it or double pump it.
Well, there's what we talked about. That pump comes in a 25 gallon a minute pump. That if we had a switch right here, well, and just set that down in the tank. Is it plastic tanks?
Yeah.
Is that what it's going to be? Like
2500s.
Okay.
Yeah, like over
okay.
at your place.
Okay.
There's 2 of them.
With that, we put a 3-way switch that turn off the well when they drove up here and fill their tank at 25 gallons a minute.
So it's all solar. The whole setup solar.
It's it's the same pump. It's just a bigger pump, and it won't go very deep. You know, it's a shallow.
Well, you
very
can
shallow
pump from
lift.
the tanks though.
But we could drop it down in the tank, and it'll pump 25 gallons a minute right out of the tank.
Okay.
I told him that'll cost $3,000 to do that tank. The other option is, when it's first set up, is just put the biggest line you can come off of that, and see how that's going to do as far as filling time.
Well, see, that was what we had talked about doing, is we were going to raise this berm, because we've got almost a 10-foot drop out there with a 3-inch berm.
See, and that might be okay.
And figuring, we figured a 2-inch line, with a 2-inch line on a 3-inch drop, we should be able to fill the tank in about 16, 18, 20 minutes. And the thing is, it's been taking 45 minutes to an hour. We were going to set the tanks like over here.
Okay.
And we were going to berm it, because we got the track. We were going to build up about a 3-foot berm and set the tanks up, and then just run the water down and just have them come in front on the road.
Okay. Okay.
And I want to be in a position that if this well goes down, we'll have about 2 days worth of water in reserve.
And if you have 2 days, I can normally.
Yeah, and see, that's what
get you fixed.
Basically, if we've got 40 people here, and if 40 people go through 900 gallons a month, that's our 36,000. And like us, we don't burn but 500-600 a month. That's it.
Well, what our options are with this? There's not a bigger pump that'll go that deep. But if you had the growth and some things, if the water's there, you'd almost have to know that. Well, there's 2 options. We could do the batteries and run it 24 hours a day.
Right.
Okay. That would be.
Well, I'm setting it up. I'm setting it up to start with. I'm going to run it from 10 to 5 days a week. 2 days for it to build itself back up. Get its measurements.
We're probably in the $7,500 range to do it, to pull it, to be installed and pumping.
Right. Okay. And then we have the metal. I have the metal, and all I need is lengths and widths and how much space. I have the metal to build a metal rack to mount to, and we have the welding equipment. We'll build it. We'll weld it. It'll all be put together.
Whether or not 5 gallons a hole 24 hours a day.
Right. That's why I'm setting up to do it. I have a metering pump, or a water meter. It's got a thing on it, and I'm going to hook it to the well or to the pump, and that way I can meter how much water is going out, so that we can be sure how much water is going out to the people. 1, 2, by cutting back. Because everybody's saying, well, we want to come over here in the middle of the night and that. Well, I don't know why in the hell anybody would want to come over here in the middle of the night and get water. But, you know, the thing is the pump's not going to be working in the middle of the night. So they're going to be draining out of the tank, and we can't refill. So I figure if we go from, say, 10 in the morning or 9 in the morning till 5, that's going to give us maybe an hour or 2 in the winter, and then 3 or 4 hours in the summer that we're going to have extra light pumping. Plus, we'll have 2 days of, I don't know, like a Wednesday and a Sunday, where the water can build itself back up. And that way, nobody's going to be in the situation of coming and not having water, and we're not going to overtax the well. Because just like you said, that's one thing I've questioned. Can we pump continually and not draw it down?
Until it's done, you don't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was the whole thing. That's why
In order to do that, to know what it is,
We gotta fill the
I
tank.
would run as big a pump as I could run, and then as soon as I pumped it off, and cut it back to know to do that. And with most wells that you really want to know, you run a 36-hour test on one.
Yeah.
That's going to say, well, it'll make 5 gallons a minute all the time, or it'll make 10 or 20 or 30. You know, it's not going to touch it.
Yeah.
Until that's done, you don't know. And there's a whole lot of wells that have never been tested. I told him it's going to cost about $800 to treat it if it had iron bacteria.
yeah.
It doesn't have casing. He said that it's
Well,
not
that's
cased
what-
all the way. So unless they got it off of the pipe, this pipe that's in there,
And that's
and
19 foot.
then see, we're going to be plastic and stainless steel.
Right.
So if we kill it out to start with, then it should last.
Because
a
see,
long
this
time.
is
If we
19.
don't,
This is 19 foot.
Yeah.
The casing
Okay.
here.
Okay.
But he said that there's no casing below that.
Yeah, which is fine. The only thing that could cause a problem anywhere down the line is what that cavern is.
Yeah.
Monday will be over here. So.
Okay. I'll have everything cleared out, ready to go, so you can pull in here and start. We'll have the roads cleared out, so you're not going to be bumping all the way in and out. And we'll have a road pad cut back up here so you can get in. And I'm picking up next week. I'm picking up the tanks, and I'll get started getting everything set up where the tanks are set, and we'll see if we can't get started getting the building and the panels thing set up.